Hello everyone and welcome back to the ESL Pro League, match day number 10 of Season 7 of the NA Division. And we just saw Rogue coming off for a very, very easy victory, but doing all the fundamentals right. You can't really fault them, but compLexity, a lot of work to do now on their own map pick if Rogue are able to continue their momentum as well as their good form.
Yeah, I mean, their train was full speed while compLexity's never left the station, I guess you could say.
I mean, easiest way to say, Rogue overpass, compLexity train. Is there even a moving train on train?
No.
Yeah. Imagine that.
Maybe
Overpass is a moving train. Train doesn't have anything moving at all.
I mean, yeah, compLexity never got moving.
It did a little bit. Just not as much as they needed to kind of take the victory in that
compLexity
case.
reminded me of something that happened to me, which is literally like the train stopped like 2 feet from the platform and all the doors were closed and I couldn't get off. And it was like, my home's like 1 minute from the station, so literally it could have worked 30 seconds home. Instead, I had to sit 40 minutes in a train that wasn't moving.
Yeah, so theoretically, if you did get back home, would you then jump on and play a game of ECA?
I probably would. That's one of my favorite pastimes after a long, hard day of, you know, studying or casting.
I was about to say you're in Rank S now, aren't you?
Mate, I would never have made it there by myself. Thank God I got invited because, you know, it's just grinding out that A and A plus every season. Just the average 9 RWS, 10 RWS, 11 RWS player. Just not good enough to break into the, you know, world of Rank S with the 15 RWS superstars of our world.
15 RWS is now considered superstar?
I mean, you know, something higher than that, I guess.
Well, 15 RWS is actually really good. I mean,
on
Disney,
average, it's
yeah,
great.
Average.
Because you get those games where you just get 6 because you're 30 bombed and your team can't win any rounds.
Yeah, well, you got to
and
just
you
frag
don't get
harder.
any RWS for that.
You just got to frag harder, Billy. Make it
frag harder.
Yeah, frag harder. You just got to ace every single round, and you just got to farm up the RWS.
I mean, some people do that and they just cruise into rank S.
Yeah, I mean, you got to farm up. What is it? I think the highest I've hit in any game whatsoever was like 40 RWS or something like that.
40. I think the highest I've got is 32, and it was like a 16-1, and I was running down drop with a sword off every round on cobble.
It works out perfectly. Who needs falling accuracy if you can just blast their heads off in midair, right?
That's what I did, mate.
Yeah. Oh, you must have had.
They ended up putting 3 into drop, and they just couldn't kill me.
Sometimes it's a depressing thought when you really think about it, that 3 people can't hold off a single boy flying through the air in drop room. But there it is. I mean, if you're looking to farm up some easy RWS, maybe if you pray to the RNG gods, you too can get an easy game on ECA. Also, at the same time, you hope you don't have your teammates that can't hold drop with 3 people against a Storm off. That's also the other thing.
Look, you're either on one team or you're the other. So, look, the reality is you either smash them, you have a good time, you get smashed, or it's a close game and no one has a good time.
Some close games you have a good time.
Oh yeah, sometimes.
If you actually get
intense.
Yeah, if you get matched with a bunch of solid teammates, keen gamers looking to competitively play with some good essence of teamwork.
Yeah, I feel like the first step to that is to be a keen player yourself. I mean, if you're a good sport and you're trying harder and you're communicating, I feel like everyone else will come around. Sometimes you get that old.
Sometimes, not always. You need for me, it's like everyone just needs to have like that positive mindset. If you have just even one person who has the most negative mindset in the world, that can slowly creep in just
Mate, you can't have a positive mindset playing with you, Kev, on a pug because you're just buying MP9s, Mag 7s, and Zeuses, and people think you're trolling when you're actually playing seriously. You're pissing off everyone on your team and everyone on the other team.
But if it works, it's like you going drop. It's like you going drop with a sawn off. If I'm buying a Negev and I get 1v3 clutches with a Negev, am I really trolling or am I trying to win the game?
Mate, here's the thing though. I would always get more kills like not trying and just turning my brain off and trying to shotgun people in the ECA than if I actually threw full nade sets and tried to kill people that way. Because every time you just got a flash out, someone will just wide swing you and kill you. It's painful.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best way. You just go on autopilot mode,
Yeah.
Just like, say, for example, for you, you'd be like hunched over like that. For me, I'd just be like leaning back in my chair like this, lounging
JDM.
like JDM and just getting frags. I'm like, man, this is so easy. I don't know why I can't frag, and then I realize.
Because when you try, you crap.
Yeah, pretty much. Because then it's like the scene where you have like all the mathematical equations in front of you. I'm just calculating everything, and then I'm like, all right, so if I do this, this guy's gonna do that, and I got to respond by doing that. No, why am I thinking about that? That guy's just gonna wide swing me.
Yeah.
I should just be holding the angle. I shouldn't be holding angle. I should be like, instead of holding angle, I should be
peek
holding
into
5
him.
centimeters out that way because he's going to
Off
peek
angle.
into it.
Yeah.
So such is the story of our lives of Counter-Strike. We should bring it back to complexity and Rogue eventually, though. I mean, we've covered a lot of train already, I feel like. I mean, is there anything else that you want to add on into what complexity needed to do differently?
Yeah, well, they needed to play, get some SL control, maybe mix up their aggression a little bit more. They played very passively and let Rogue do everything that they wanted, and let Rogue get a lot of map control, a lot of information and stuff like that without really stopping their T side. Like, it's just one of those things where Rogue's like, we've got all these set plays on the T side, we've got all our defaults, and complexity never threw a spanner in the works. The machine just kept running perfectly.
Say, for example, okay, so in this case, we never really saw T-connector pressure coming out from complexity.
No, but
Was that something
literally the first round, Rogue threw it in there.
Yeah, exactly. So was that something where complexity, that's pretty much their downfall? They didn't try to make Rogue uncomfortable, or is that just part of their set plan?
I feel like they did do that on an eco, I'm sure of it, and maybe even on a buy round, and I feel like Sick just shot them in the head every time they came near the connector.
But there was no real play where it's like, we're barraging flashbangs, we saw Rogue, there was a clear strategy, all right? We've smoked off SL, they've taken SL control, they've cleared it, then what they do is they molly the corner, they throw one really, really obvious kind of like right-click flashbang, and as soon as that's being thrown, there's a flashbang that comes flying through, and it just pops immediately if that guy turns around. They got to bail it out of there, and then you just got 2 CT swinging in, clearing the corners. That to me is a T-connector take. A T-connector take is not, oh, I'll just right-click a flash and just push in with 2 people. That's not a T-connector take. That's a YOLO kind of play.
Yeah, and that's how I felt like Cole played like most of the time. They were just kind of like, I mean, half-efforting it, kind of like, yeah, whatever. Whereas like Rogue was like full keen, ready to play the game. I have to point out as well, like, I think Sick, GMD and Vice, all 20 kills, and then KDN and Hiko like both 13 for 10 or something.
Yeah, that was still a positive ratio. But when you got so many like impact fraggers, sometimes you just need to set them up for success. And Cadian, was just always in the sideline, locking down in a corridor, getting a kill, or at least putting enough pressure or getting information to allow the riflers then more, more freedom, space, more luxury to play around with the positioning they had. So it was really down to him, for example, all the time coming to the T-connector, trying to get the early line to make sure no one would cross SL. And then as soon as that happens, then Rogue just instantly exploded out of SL, exploded out of T-connector, made so many adaptations around a single sandwich smoke, and I think that was something we were really impressed with. One round they had the smoke grenade sandwich, they then smoke off green train and pop a flash through a sandwich and push through that.
And it works so well against that passive setup, like it absolutely destroyed them.
Yeah, and the next round, they threw out the sandwich smoke, and all of a sudden you can see how scared complexity were of them coming out because they had no reading of what was going on behind that smoke. And guess what? They just came out of Ivy this time around, and then they just got shot from a different angle, and they're just like, all right,
they're all focused on front yard, and they get
exactly.
Split.
So it was
beautiful.
Like it was really impressive, not only calling, but as well as just like changing it up, and you recognize. I think for Rogue, they recognize the pattern of success. They realized that complexity would adapt in a particular way and counter-adapted to that, and that's the thing that really strikes me as impressive. For both sides as well, complexity tried adapting, but Rogue were one step ahead, and you can't fault complexity for going, look, that's the same smoke. Last round, they got punished for not doing X, Y, Z, so they do it this time. But then Rogue throw a spanner in the works in the sense that, okay, we just walk through down Ivy. They make no noise the entire time. They don't throw a single grenade. They just make that contact play, and it works out.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really fault them, and I feel like that's something that we haven't seen and that we're going to really start to see more and more as CSGO, as the game starts to get older, and the stuff that you would see in, like, titles that have been played for years and years and years, like, 1.6 or, like, your Call of Duty 4s or whatever. Like, you start to get those, like, micro adjustments where like, oh, I've done this, and now this time I can do it slightly different and make, like, the tiny adjustment. And it's something you would only see from really high level teams in the past, but as the game starts to get older and people everyone knows the smokes, everyone knows certain flashes or whatever, where like all 5 players on your team can do a certain set of utility, and they know how to conduct themselves in a different way, or how a strat's sort of formulated, and they can play off of each other. Like, you get a lot more openings for that kind of things, those tiny adjustments, the tiny little flashbangs and stuff, where previously you'd only see that out of a team like Astralis, where, like, you know, they were all on the same page and they've sort of had the strap book out and they've, you know, gone really in depth and they can make tiny adjustments like that.
Yep.
Those are the kind of things that can really win you championships, as opposed to sort of banging your head into the wall doing the same execute over and over and over again, because a high-level team is just going to adapt to that so quickly.
Yeah, and I want to see how Rogue do on Cache. I mean, it looks like we're having a little bit of delay at the moment with trying to get some players into the server. Should be starting soon, hopefully. But yeah, I hope that Rogue can... I want to see what Rogue have in terms of the T-site strategies. Is it more of a, look, they're really well rehearsed on train and that's why they're really good? Or is it more of, you know, they've got this fundamental game plan for all the maps? Like, say, for example, Cache, you know, your Train, Mirage. If you've got a solid 4-map pool where you can pull off executes pretty decently, you're starting to become established and set as one of those top-tier teams, really.
Yeah, I mean...
You need probably, like, if you're great on 4 maps, good on the 5th map, and then you have 2 maps you're really bad in, or you don't really want to be playing, I think you're pretty established. A great team needs to be good at 6.
It's exactly what you said. Like, I mean, I don't really agree with that. I feel like there's very few teams that are good on 6 maps. I feel like most teams are good on 3 maps. And the best teams in the world are good on 5 maps. I think that's it. Like, very rarely is a team good on 6 or 7 maps or whatever. It's like never.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's also because of the current map pool, right? I mean, before we had Nuke as a specialty map, which would kind of make its way in a couple of times. But this time around, like with the Nuke changes, it's I don't know any team that's actually played it outside of a serious, like, oh, you know, it's kind of we're a severe underdog team. We're gonna throw this in just to see if we can catch you off guard. I don't think any team recently has picked the new Nuke. New Nuke, should I say? It's just become a before, like, you know, with the first adjustment, when we still had all the small things, like the catwalk outside still, it was a map we saw occasionally, and I did enjoy it. I enjoyed watching it and whatnot. Obviously, it's still a little bit more CT-sided, but the Ts had a lot more flexibility. It wasn't as hopeless as it was in the initial iteration. But now it's slowly started to come back into that first iteration. A lot of teams are just not picking it. They're just going, nah, forget about this. Well, and I think that's what lends to having only 5 great maps as opposed to 6. Because for a great team, right, if you didn't have that 6 great map pool, you have 1 insta-ban. But if the enemy team decides to pick the map that you're bad at, and then they're also great on the final map, then it's a kind of a 50-50, right?
It happens all the time, mate. Like, it's a best of 3 for a reason. You'll always have... A lot of the times, teams will be better on similar maps. So it will rarely happen that a good team is going to get counter-picked into their absolute worst map. And that just comes down to team matchups. Some teams match up super well against each other because they're good at your 5th best map. That's their best map. And that happens sometimes, you know. There's nothing you can do about it, but that doesn't mean that you need to get good at 6 maps. Anyway, here's the big question for me.
Is Canals coming into the rotation?
As you put it, no. Rehearsed, as you put it, for Rogue is exactly what I would say. They seemed so well rehearsed, and it seemed like everything went to plan. It was like a beautiful stage production coming into life on train. They never had a hitch. Nothing ever went wrong for them. Everything they tried to do worked perfectly. What happens when things don't go as planned? Maybe they're not as well rehearsed. compLexity gets their foot in the door a little bit more. Rounds get a little bit more scrappy, and they have to make mid-round adjustments. Is this going to be as much of a landslide? Is compLexity going to roll them over if they're not as rehearsed?
I'll have to find out, as Vice only finds 1 from the back of Checkers. Rogue were trying to draw it in. But Hiko managed to find 1, I think, through the edge of the smoke. Good flashbang allows Katie to pick up 1 as well. There's no other flashbangs coming forward at the moment, so FNS is able to take down GMD trying to push through Heaven. But the 1-for-1s trades eventually resolve in the favor of Rogue. FNS, what is... Yeah, Sick just doing a sick kind of 360 jiggle around. The bomb's lost in the open.
The image that I got in my head was not really what happened.
It looked like that, effectively, as... FNS is able to... Ooh, Rogue are not sold on it just yet. They're still going... FNS is trying to play 4D chess, and Rogue... You can't play 4D chess if your opponent is also playing 4D chess. So FNS decides to go for the
that is exactly how he
pick.
Probably felt. FNS looking for the flank. Hiko... Yep, if it doesn't work the first time... Straight back into it. The Get Right Slayer. Wonder how many people get that reference. How many years ago was that? Probably 4 or 5 now. Jesus.
I think Hiko will eventually be... Well, he's now going to be aware as soon as the bomb goes down, it's an A bomb site take. But Hiko's got a lot of time to work with. He's got the smoke, he's got the kit. He's got the HP and the armor advantage as well, which is quite big in this scenario because FNS does not have the Does not have armor, has a flashbang to work with. So if he pops off a good flashbang, could turn the one-on-one in his favor.
The fact that it's not planted for aim mate is really going to narrow the spots that FNS could be now. Like this plant, door might be open or whatever, but...
Ooh, okay. That's sharp from FNS, because even though Hiko was watching
I feel like Hiko should have had that 9 times out of 10. First headshot goes out, and FNS had no armor there, so if Hiko hits him, pretty sure he gets aim punched and it's all over.
So FNS, nice 1 and 2 clutch. He's picked up 3 pistol kills for complexity, so the T-side pistol train continues for both teams.
Alright, so Rogue, how good are you guys when you get under the gun and things don't all go according to plan? These are the questions that we need answered. Are they going to be able to hold composure? I mean, even in that round, they look like, I mean, apart from Sick sort of spazzing out a little bit, they had a nice flashbang through the heaven. Nice little boost here. I've seen so many cutesy plays coming out from Rogue.
It's a good boost, but if you're not landing any shots, it doesn't really matter, does it?
I feel like there was no point at which Peter was in Vice's crosshair.
That was a little bit interesting.
Good effort, mate.
Like, it wasn't as if like the crosshair was there and it's like, oh, you know, a few shots missed, bad luck. It was kind of like it was like your brain was really delayed in that essence. Your brain had input lag and then your hands had input lag.
It's like when you dribbled the ball all the way up the court and then you just threw it, didn't even hit the backboard.
Yeah, so a few kills. Rogue are able to sneak 2 kills at mid as well as the A-bomb side, but still locked out of the B position now as Cadian. Feels boosted up, might be able to find the player on default. FNS thinking about peeking in. Good luck wall banging someone with the UMP there, mate. Hiko, I don't think you're going to be doing any damage. So only FNS on the bomb site. 2 players closer to B main, and Rogue most likely will be saving here. I don't think there's any avenue for them in. They don't have a kit. No utility as well, FNS. Just looking at an exit as Cadian trying to find a cheeky kill if he can get it, but it won't be able to, it just gets deleted.
Cadian killed by the Canadian.
That was a really messy spray, which in the end Hiko wins.
Alright.
Do you think Vice will go for it?
I feel like Rogue are in like vacation mode after that 66. None of them are actually aiming at people anymore.
Especially not Vice, mate. That was still drawn back to that, to be honest, because it was, yeah, it was just a bit unique out of Vice. Normally Vice is one of the sharper members, so to see him whiff quite a lot.
Wasn't the mid round, mate.
It's still early days. Maybe just maybe just on vacation mode for a little bit too much. Lounging back. I don't think he's allowed to. Vice is pretty young. He's a young man, isn't he?
I don't know.
Or is he old, mate?
Oh, GMD's 17 years old. I've cyber-stalked his HLTV now.
All right, let's take
So
a look
he's
at
a young
Vice.
man.
We're going to see if he's a young man or old, mate.
Out comes the complexity onto the bomb site, running into a CZ. That's always happy times. Android lucky not cop an... Ooh,
Okay, this is
Vice
turning
and
around.
Hiko. Okay, Vice, once again, mate. You're aiming at the wall.
That's a
headshot.
little bit difficult to actually land. Let's be realistic. FNS,
Aim punch,
Cadian, trying to find
a
this
little
kill.
better job. That was almost on. Smoke comes out onto the red. Oh boy, this could be bad. Oh, Def's ready for it. 3 bullets. Not going to reload. 2 bullets. He's got 5 bullets.
Yep, so many fakes coming out.
Oh,
It's actually
FNS.
FNS that gets
Yeah.
the kill.
All right. Rogue. Here's the first CT buy round.
Okay, so Vice is 22, but because he's younger than me, we can call him young man.
Yeah, under 23 is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we verified that already. You're still a young man if you're under 23.
Yeah, but that was last year when I was 23. Now I'm 24. So
It doesn't change, mate.
It doesn't change, it's just 23.
It doesn't change, mate. Just because
Alright.
you're old AF doesn't mean it changes. Peter.
So, the first buy round.
Yeah. Let's see if Rogue are going to be as proactive as they were on train on their CT. Looks like they're already setting up to be. Just crab walking into the A main smoke. 1 on top, 1 below. Cleared out A main. It's going to give them a lot of information. 1 minute 30 on the clock. Complexity. Going to boost mid to our mid. So some late mid control. Just contacting into it. Cadian's still posted on Z though. And Sick set up with his Nerf gun in the corner. GMD's going to cover him. They know A main smoke.
Nerf gun?
So yeah, that's his name of his M4.
Peter does get the opening pick on Cadian though, so and now Sick goes down as
going
well.
well.
So good waiting from FNS who just knowing that Rogue has to go aggressive after losing the first member, now they're most likely going to be pinching off the A-bomb site, and GMD has to go huge here. There's no other alternative. If he does not go huge, he's going to go down, and he's going to go huge right now, finds 2, but he can't find the 3rd. If he found the 3rd, that would have been the game turner. Vice now boosted into vent, but just a little bit late to try to make his way up mid. His corridors should be covered right now. Depth just going to be holding truck. He will be able to catch out Hiko for a brief moment of time, but Vice now needs to make the moves. And he will be able to make the moves. No cover, but he just decides to draw out a grenade when he should have kept his M4 up. As Android gets a trade.
Boys. What is that? What is that smoke? A main smoke from back of truck. Nice. Jump throw, little jump throw. Double peek out of complexity. I feel like we're watching a reverse of the last map.
Yeah, this is solid stuff from complexity. I mean, I just have to gain the first pick, work in their favor. I don't know which angle Peter was playing from. They were able just to, you know, make sure that they took down Sick, who was going over. He had to aggress in A main to try to either get back map control or to get information. And yeah, it was down to GMD if he was able to get the 3rd kill. Really difficult to get the 3rd kill with a spray down that distance. If he was, though, that would have been the round changer.
Even just getting the 2nd with that spray control is pretty impressive. I have to say, last map, we thought it was going to be down to the AWPers. They had absolutely 0 impact on both sides. Already AWP battles being pretty important on a map like Cage, surprisingly. Yeah,
Vi's pretty ambitious there to be charging in with a knife. But Def should be able to farm up a Storm right now. So much money. That's what I look at. I don't look at CTs with pistols as danger. I look at them as money units. And Def is going to find $900 or more than that. It's going to find $1,800. No more.
Should be 5-0 for complexity, and honestly, I feel like this is one of those games that's gone by so quick. Haven't run into the late round too many times, and we're already down 5-0. First Gunnies and the pistol going to complexity on their map pick, T side.
Did you say Gunnies?
Yeah, Gunnies. Like pushies. Kevin's broken now.
Oh no, not the pushies, mate.
Oh, dear. Going for a bit of a pushies into mid. It's going to clear out the under the boosties.
We're just going to describe everything with ease.
Yeah.
He's got the AK. Nah, that doesn't work out.
The plebbies.
Why plebeian? I don't understand it.
I mean, it doesn't really make sense, does it?
No, it doesn't. Maybe there's a backstory behind it. Complexity up 5-0. Really good start on Kaish and Rogue. They need to make a change up now.
Oh, maybe because it shows your opponent what you kill them with. It's like calling them a plebeian when you kill them.
Well, maybe. I don't know. Does anyone even look at that? No one looks at that. I don't look at how much damage he's done. I don't look at the killer replay.
I played when I was playing like 4 years ago. There was somebody with a really great name for their AWP, and every time he AWP'd me, it would tilt me off the face of the earth.
4 years ago, and you still remember it.
Yeah. So you know that it's an effective name tag.
But you don't remember it now.
That's $2 well spent. I don't remember what the name of it was, but I remember getting ultra tilted because this person would just shoot me with the AWP every time. Like, I'd just run out mid, insta-death, and then, like, the name would just tilt me. Like, you see that name pop up, like, 5 times in a row, you get pretty tilted.
Complexity just staging an A site. Just a soft A site smoke execute for now. They're trying to draw out as much utility from the CTs as possible, and it's working quite well because a lot of utility has been drawn out. A smoke grenade's now going to pop, and this is going to be the real execute. They're going to walk out in the back of the smoke grenade, no noise whatsoever.
They've been spotted though on the cross by
I don't think they have. That's a great flashbang, but somehow, oh my goodness, GMD still gets him through the smoke. Actually, that's going to be sick. That is absolutely huge as now the bomb's being lost. That was a huge play coming out from him, and GMT was completely blinded. I thought, all right, this is really well played from complexity. There's a bit of a sparrow in the works, and Peter, he's going to have to step up with the AWP. Finds 1 kill. Where's Android? He was out in the open from A main, so Peter's going to tap it once. Now knows that there's one closer to Highway. Doesn't know that Hiko's also at Highway. All 3 members stacked here. Cadian hasn't peeked out. He spotted out Hiko right now, and Cadian's going to assume the line as well. So Vice just playing the patience game. No need for him to peek out just yet. Cadian is able to get a shot in the cross. Not an easy shot to make from Z Connector.
Hiko has 1,190 stat track kills on his knife. That's a lot of knife rounds, boy.
You could... I'm going to say, you could theoretically just go into a bot server and just...
No, it doesn't count.
It does.
Does it?
Yeah.
Like the Valve ones? I know private servers don't count, like aimbots.
I know if you go into, like, say, for example, a workshop map, the stat tracks count. Oh, Vice, you don't want to be peeking into a B main like that, where Pete is waving the AWP. Now Hiko's going to be in a little bit of trouble. He's going to try and flash himself out of there. Flashbang's good, but he's still waiting there. But Pete, not missing the shot. He's been biting his entire time. Good stuff coming out from him. Oh my goodness, Peter just by himself. Just shuts down the B site, takes smoke grenades. They don't matter.
So this is one of those situations where if you're a bit of a plebeian CS watcher, you would go, man, wouldn't it be best case scenario if they just won every round and never lost? Actually, no, this is best case scenario. You win pistol, you win first gunny. They win one round and then you steamroll them 5-0. You have like 10k in the bank and they're broke economically. And
Rossetti spaghetti. It's so good when you think about it.
Oh man.
They're still lining up for an execute at this stage. compLexity have been playing this. This is classic.
Executing on no one.
They don't know that though. There could be
know.
two people there, but
It's just great.
I just got a feeling. I mean, they're just making sure they're dotting the I's and crossing the T's. But Rogue already made the decision to go save. Rogue.
They're pretty broke right now.
Yeah, so they have to save these M4s because they had 3 rifles up in the previous round. I think they had an AWP and 2 rifles up. So with these 2 M4s saved, they can still buy into the next one. But compLexity, I mean, dirty peek Pete. What can you say? Those are some pretty dirty peeks.
Yeah.
That's going to earn compLexity the reset as well. All the Rossetti spaghetti.
Rossetti spaghetti. It's the worst kind if you're Rogue. It's enough to make you sick. That's such a good one. I'll be here all night, guys. Thank you.
Def just going to Squeaky. He's going to pop it open. That's going to draw the attention. There's no one else, so they're not too interested in peeking out just yet. So GMD goes, thanks for the free kill. Oh, I don't think they can buy with that.
No, Vice can afford a rifle and light
armor. He can. Sick can drop it for Mars.
That's a buy, mate.
That's not a buy.
It's got to be, though. They can't double eco. They can't do it. Well, they can.
They're forcing now.
They got to force, mate.
You wouldn't double eco.
You wouldn't do it.
I would. In that case, I'd be like, no.
I think it's so underrated nowadays, though.
The double eco?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened to it? Where's the double eco coming out?
Because CZs are good, pistols are good, force
Everyone just
good.
goes, oh, I can't do anything because they're beating me with all their utility. Yeah, because you buy pistols every round, mate. You just force buy relentlessly.
How does that smoke grenade land there from the CT side? Is that a T-smoke?
Yeah, it's a T-smoke. You can throw it from, I mean, there's that Apex video that everyone saw recently, which is you can throw it from literally here. You can throw it to back A main. Jump throw over the top of the roof.
There you go.
Alternatively, they could just bank it off the wall like normal people. But if you're French, you got to one-up everyone, right?
Yeah, I mean, French are the pinnacle. Like, if you want to learn how to force buy, you just got to watch a French team. They're the best at force buying. You want to learn how to lose your anti-ecos, you watch an Australian team.
You're not wrong, mate.
So compLexity going off for a bit of a... Okay, I was going to say they're trying to fake onto the A bomb site and then split B, but it's actually going to be an A site split. They've got one just close to the Y box at Highway. Just one person making noise at B, but they're actually going back to A right now. 1 in Squeaky, 2 in A main. There's 1 on the boost, though. GMD, once again, he's been the impact player so far on the A bomb site. Last time he didn't have enough teammates, and he's going to get instantly shut down. Def is going to check that angle, and the CT is just around from all sides. Def just comes out of Highway, gets on the AWP, and he just rolls on forward with a P250 and just cleans up the A bomb site by himself. So this is really just a turnaround with compLexity. Now they're turning up to play. They're hitting their shots with confidence, and Rogue just caught out in the open and getting shut down.
FNS with the advanced mind games once again. False sense of security for Rogue. Thought they were way better than compLexity. Bit too lax coming into this game. compLexity's all over them.
Only a single AK lost. compLexity aren't going to be...
I'll ask you a philosophical question.
Yep.
Kev. If Australians are so successful with their eco rounds, whether it's to do with, you know, how bad they are at defending them or not, does that make us better at force buying than the French or not?
That's a good question. Almost if you combine the best of both worlds. Like, imagine if you had a French-Australian. You couldn't go wrong. You'd win every single round.
Yeah. But unless you were full board.
Unless you were full board.
Yeah.
Then that's a different story. You could win the full spies. You can
First tactical pause.
Yeah, Rogue having to... I mean, their money's completely shot, even after that save, so they're going to have to eco one more. That's going to be 8-1, and compLexity, now with a lot of money to work with. Rogue probably just talking about what they need to adapt. Are they giving up mid-control too early? Do they need to make aggression more at A main?
They're taking A main almost every round, and compLexity is still just wrecking them.
Yeah, compLexity recognize they can have A main. They just slowly take Squeaky instead, and they just take mid-control. And if you take that A main control, now Rogue needs to decide whether to hold on to it or if they need to dedicate more resources at mid, because mid's the problem right now. You lose mid every single time, and if you give enough space for your opponents, we saw Def just by himself. He just walked up highway and killed 2 people. As an AWPer, not a rifler, as an AWPer.
Out comes the save, despite the triple weapon retained from the last round.
You can't really force in this one. You force one more time, you're just going to be wrecking your economy even further, and that's no way to be playing the CT side, even when you're down 7-1, 8-1. Doesn't matter how much you're down unless it's coming to the final stages. Still got time to work with.
How are you meant to counter the terrorists without weaponry? Huh?
With the CZ, obviously. You can see GMD doing a good job of it. He's going to be mollied off eventually, though, by 2 people, and Android's going to finish him off. Cadian trying to back up his teammate, but I don't even think he was trying to back up his teammate. Def just gets to pick at B main. Has allowed Vice to cross over, and now it's the rifles up for the CT side, but they've got the number deficiency, and compLexity probably just going to be, for the next 30 seconds, just wasting time, just slowly taking no map control, or no aggressive map control before they decide to execute somewhere. It's the very CLG style, I feel like. It's a very FNS style. I shouldn't say CLG. It's a very FNS style where even if they get the early pick, they never like pick and roll. It's always the, all right, we get the picks and we stabilize, wait for the aggression, slow down, you know, make no noise across the rest of the map, and then we slowly walk somewhere. But that might be their undoing right now, because they're slowly walking into somewhere where Hiko, where there's 2 people stacked up, or there's a lot of people stacked up, that could be the detriment. But Hiko... There's a flashbang. They're going to counter flash it.
So lucky on the timing there from Cole. That could have been disastrous.
And Rogue are just going to rotate out, but there's already 1 person established at A-bomb site. That's going to be FNS.
Oh, no, wait. Wait, what? 8? Okay, yeah, I'm blind. It's FNS, correct.
It's FNS.
Yes.
Yes. There's now Rogue. 3 people swinging truck. Def goes down. Watch shot from Android. Spraying and tapping away. But the AWPer is on the cross, and Sick no chance whatsoever. Android wants to try and shut him from saving, but the M4 is going to be retained to the next round. Doesn't matter, compLexity managed to take the next round. And, yep, the compLexity train continues. I thought Rogue wasn't too bad at the map, but compLexity just, at the stage, they're the ones hitting their shots at the moment, and they're the ones carting their way forward. As FNS. FN starting to say FN no, don't want to try to take this kill on Sick because he's dinked down.
I just love the movement mechanics in CS, how you just bump your head on all kinds of stuff and it actually helps you.
Imagine if it's every single time that you bumped your head, you actually take damage. Like if you launch yourself at the velocity like like one of these guys do, and you just hit a hard object, if you don't have a helmet, you should actually take more damage. You shouldn't take too much if you've got a helmet.
Should be like temporarily slowed.
Like, actually, how does that make sense? How do these models actually have helmets already? How do you buy another helmet?
Why, if you are shooting out of the gun barrel, does it go upwards?
Amazing sometimes, but the compLexity changing up the pace. Just a lot of flashbangs being barraged through, man. There's no one here. Sick in the middle of the open. Gets a 1-for-1. Probably the best you can hope for in those circumstances. GMD locked behind the smoke. FNS. Oh my goodness. Just charging down truck alongside his teammate.
Is beautiful calling.
Absolutely disgusting.
10 out of 10 calling.
That was a great call, but I was going to say that shot was absolutely disgusting. And now a nice little boost. Just the little things compLexity are doing right. GMD able to find only 1 kill and just getting shut down through either the smoke or the jump up through aircon. Cadian is just hiding in Squeaky. Not much you can hope for at this stage as Cadian. Not even a kit that you can retrieve. And compLexity just making all the right calls, all the right things in all the right places.
This was Rogue's team speak during the tactical. All right, we need to counter this mid-aggression. Let's do this and this. This was their team speak in the last round. Okay, I'm smoking. Oh, they're out A. Smoking mid.
Yeah,
They're out A.
I think compLexity's
5 out A.
And compLexity's thing would just be like, Caden's been spotted out, but they shouldn't be able to kill him. It was just FNX going, rush B, rush A, rush A. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Throw flashbang, stop as soon as one person hits
he knew that
here.
they had to do something about mid, and as soon as they went to do it.
But that's the classic, you know, counter strat to the adaptation, where it's FNS knew that Rogue had to take this mid control because they identify it as a weak point, so they just go, let's just go hard A, because we've noticed that no one sits there as, oh my goodness, Peter, stop it.
Don't do it.
Do
they
it.
have families.
Do it.
I think. Hope so.
I think this game so far, just on Cache, Peter's got more kills through the smoke than just normal AWP kills. Which, when you think about it, is ridiculous. He's starting to feel it. This is the prime of Dirty Peak Pete. Not even an understatement, man. You got to think content sometimes, and the best content is when you're just banging everyone through smoke.
That's all NA is about. Doesn't matter about wins. It's just the content, buddy.
You make the content, and it's all winning content. Vice is a very nervous boy right now. Doesn't know what's going on behind the smoke grenade. There's a lot of complexity members. Molotov's now going to be coming forward. He's going to have a fun time. He's going to have the trigger discipline of Simple right now to get more than 2 kills. And they're coming in. He's holding his ground. He's trying to find the right timing. There's one. 7 bullets left. But oh, that was fine too.
Baby.
But doesn't find the triple.
Oh,
what? He just comes running out. Still manages to get the kill on FNS. There's a single flashbang for Sick to work with. Tree's going to be re-smoked up. No one's watching the angles though, so just
again,
a single
the
fake.
Push through smoke.
Yep.
Always.
K-Star's going to be caught out, down to a 1-on-1. Peter has to come in with a P250, and he does manage to clean up. But that was
no trigger discipline, mate. Just
that was pretty dicey.
into his head.
That was such a dicey round for complexity. I mean, yeah, 10-1. They are ahead.
They got too much money, mate. Doesn't matter.
He was expecting the highway cross. Still dirty.
I mean, Peter versus Katie in this half has been pretty
one-sided.
Yeah.
Peter versus anyone right now. Peter versus Smoke, one-sided. It's Peter winning. And look at this change. They just go rush B.
Bumping their heads into the wall. Yaster straight into the site. Cadian's deleted again in the first 5 seconds of the round.
Yep, he's like, goes mid. Gets called to go mid.
He's done more observing. We should get him on the observer PC instead.
Oh, man.
He's just been spectating this game.
Yeah, he goes mid to try on an eco round, gets banged through smoke. Right, that's unfortunate. Then he gets the AWP and tries to hold the B bomb site. Gets completely just demolished by Yaster. And Sick just triple peeking, able to get the kill.
Sick's got more AWP kills than Cadian so far now.
I mean, what do you do in that circumstances? They've never gone fast B, and then FNS goes rush fast B. Cadian's caught out in the open, you know, just arm out, flashbang. He can't even pull off a flashbang dance. He's dead before he can even hit the dance floor.
Yeah.
That's the only way he's hitting the floor.
There we go. Sick definitely on more AWP kills than Cadian now.
Closing the door. He's going to open the door again? Oh, my goodness. I mean, these are non-impact kills. That's the truth of it. Doesn't matter how.
What do you mean? They're padding his stats. 10 for 8 now. What's his rating? You talk about impact.
Look, there's no such thing as... I don't believe in personal ratings. I believe in team ratings. Doesn't matter. You can go 1.7, and if your team is not winning the game, doesn't really matter. And the words are simple. I want to win a tournament. You don't want to be winning the stats. You want to be winning the tournament.
Tournament wins are pretty good. Also, having a sick HLTV profile is pretty good too.
I know, I love your photo, Mitch.
Oh god, don't look that up.
Everyone, like, what you should do is type in Pili, P-I-L-I, CSGO, HLTV, and just look at that photo.
It's pretty much me whenever I'm playing CS.
complexity just going to be slowing it down. I'm not sure if that was a tactical pause or a technical pause. It felt like a little bit too short to be a tactical pause. On
Technical.
Technical?
Yep.
Attack pause, T-A-C-H.
Tactical.
I've seen people write that before. Tash pause, and I'm just like,
Tash.
I'm like,
Touch.
Okay.
Touch pause. All right. Great round for complexity. Sitting in A main. He goes up close to mid. Don't do it, Peter.
Oh, I was
Don't
scared
do
for
it.
a moment. There may have been a wall there. There may have been no X-ray. But Peter is looking like he's just hitting any ridiculous shot at this stage. But compLexity are grouping up for just an A site. Execute. A lot more members of Rogue established this time in A site to be ready to hold this off. So that's going to be first.
Highway.
Yeah. Smoking the cross.
Alright, 2 on the A-bomb site. We got GMD, we got Sick. We saw him hold it down so well before. Sick throws out the smoke onto quad, which is going to help them hold. The Molly goes on to 4. This is really good util usage.
Oh, this is messy. They're just kissing each other at the moment. They just don't know it yet. And just bumping heads. And yeah, like that's sometimes like one of the things is compLexity, just able to get all the entries once again. There's no way for Rogue to hold off. They just don't have the tradability that we saw in Train earlier on. And they're just backing off the save. What I was about to say is, flashbangs don't take away your tactile senses. Surely it's like if you're bumping into someone, you can touch them and be like, that's not, someone shouldn't be there. Go away.
Bit of a blind date under the mistletoe.
Yep.
Bit of a
bit of a smoochie between the two. Really
putting up the armrests in the credits of the movie with a stranger next to you.
Oh, man. Worst time. This is the worst thing that happened to me once. I was dead tired. Okay, this. As Android should be able to get, I think, one here.
Did you mistake Miss Asian lady for your girlfriend?
No. I mean, Rogue can't even save guns at the moment. Doesn't matter because they're on, like, you know, the full loss bonus, and they should be able to buy up in here. But 2 M4s may have meant they would have the full buy as opposed to having to force up on 2 people. Really tired. I fell asleep on a public bus, and my head lolled onto the stranger next to me. They were good spirits about it. They were good natured. They should be awake. And they said,
on the forehead.
No.
They'll cuddle up.
No. Peter trying to go for the wall bang. Not going to work this time, and they're just going to go straight up boost and just going to go banging heads. I mean, Def really wants to bang heads off, and he just wants to shoot his own teammate instead because he can't kill the CT. FNS on 1 HP. Hiko, going to be blinded out.
The flashbang, look where that lands, though. Just up above vent, pops him right in the corner of the Z. If that's intentional, you know.
Look, everything is planned. Even if it's not planned, it was planned. And GMD is
just like
GMD is like now in a position where he has to watch Squeaky, has to watch AMA, and has no idea what's going on. And compLexity are just going to be going. We're just going to be chilling out for the next 30 seconds. You know, talking about, you know, what we need to do. We're 12-1 up, 3 CTs. Don't want to be making a misstep here.
Like what my girlfriend said, she's like, we asked her mum, was I an accident, mum? And she's like, yep. And then her sister was like, was I an accident? She's like, nah, we thought the first one would get lonely, so another one.
Oh, that's harsh.
Were you planned, Kev?
I don't know, to be honest. How did this get to here? What?
You said planned. Triggered off my imagination, you know. This game's, you know.
Oh, Katie needed to make 1 kill. Yeah, but how many more? Yeah, if he's not able to get any there, that's it. Hiko doing well to get some damage through the smoke, but at this stage, damage is just not good enough.
FNS special, mate. The amount of times I've seen FNS games where they've got rolled on the first map. I think they did it against SK. I remember casting a game where they were playing SK with one of FNS's teams, and they got like 16-0 on the first map.
This was
Splice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was, how could you forget your boy Davey? Davey being the tactical mastermind.
They did it twice, mate. They got 16-0'd, and then they proceeded to like 16-0 the team they just got 16-0'd by. I think Renegades did it as well against SK. It's the classic false sense of security. Like, you come into the first game, boys, we're not that good. Just take a little lax next one, and then you come out, you know, guns blazing. Ugh, last
yeah, compLexity just go, look, we didn't want to win Train anyway. It's not our map. Cache is our map.
I mean, if it's not our map pick, what's the point?
13-1, though. Like, jeez, man.
Cadian having a rough time.
He is. I mean, on the entries on that AWP, I mean, he wasn't flashed off. He needed to land a few shots there. If he missed the first shot, he's just not able to reposition himself in a decent place where he's able to get more. It's effectively a one-and-done position. That flashbang from Hiko only could buy so much time. If you're not able to get, you know, if he got the second kill there, maybe could have turned it around. Hiko could get the spray through, and then maybe he able to get a third lucky kill because Hiko's able to draw a lot of attention away. But if you're missing those AWP shots, then there's no other way to say it. If you're missing your AWP shots and you can't hold that B bomb site, especially when you're down to 3 and 5, you can't win the round.
So, not sure where that A main smoke came from. I think it might have come from mid or something. Maybe thrown by Cadian. Because Hiko's still got his smoke. Why are they... Alright, I guess they feel like they're pretty far behind at this point, but they could have re-smoked that A main for like the rest of the map and just left it and aggressed somewhere else. I thought that would have been a lot more effective.
Sneaky 360 jump through the smoke by Cadian is playing around this quite well. Oh my goodness, he's just missed an FNS. Oh, Vice picks up FNS. Oh, this has turned around quite nicely for Rogue.
Peter on the flank.
Yeah, flanking with an AWP. Classic. So compLexity a little bit scrappy there on the A-bomb site, but I mean, when the result's 14-1, you can afford to be scrappy and you know, loose to the end. But really, this has been... Yeah. I think Rogue definitely ate some off spaghetti because
the spaghetti's all over the floor. Mate.
I mean, for Rogue, I don't have much to say. I don't think Rogue are playing
11-1. What a turnaround!
I've seen bigger odds than this before turnaround, mate. I can tell you that.
What's the .01 Betway? Can we get an expert in here? What's the 0-1 for compLexity?
In case it's classic. It's classic. Go up 12-3 in your half as an FNS team, and then you lose it because you're on the CT side and you forget how to play Counter-Strike. There's only a couple of teams, and in my mind, that's FNS's team can do that.
Yeah, maybe.
14-1. Surely they can't throw this away. As soon as I say that, I'm not just going to be eating upsetty spaghetti if it happens. I'm going to be eating
resetty.
It's not going to be just it's not going to be just spaghetti. It's just going to be puke everywhere. The studio is going to be covered by it because surely not. 14-1. Come on, man.
I don't know how I would even feel about this like series as a player. Like, how do you even feel about this if you're Rogue? You get a 16-6 and then you proceed to get dominated. You just get off your computer.
Sometimes you just got to wave it off, you know. Just go. It's been rough, you know, compLexity. They didn't turn up on train. They turned up on cage. Rogue cooled down a lot of the times. It was just good calls from FNS as well. And the economy of Rogue, if we look beyond the scoreline,
tactical adjustment was so on point. Like, it was one of those games where like they were trying to adjust to something, and then they were just instantly like rushed or something else happened. Like, it was just great preemptive calling.
Exactly. So, I mean, we can't really fault Rogue for going, look, they're doing silly things. A lot of the time, they're making the adjustments, but compLexity were ahead of them. Yeah. compLexity were landing all their shots.
One step ahead every time.
One step ahead. I mean, Rogue were trying to take map control, but as soon as they took map control somewhere else, compLexity recognized that and go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And in this essence, it was like watching Rogue on train on the T side. compLexity weren't being, you know, they weren't hitting some of their shots, just like how Rogue weren't hitting some of their shots, but the adaptations as well as the shots that the T side was hitting this time, as well as the tactical depth was just much better. And that's the reason why we're seeing the T side on both sides run away to such a massive lead. And now, compLexity, only 2 rounds they need to take, a pistol and a buy round. And Rogue, this is as close as you could get to probably a sync, actually.
The double flash again on Peter. Interesting.
He's just going to bail it out.
4 push B main, 1 retake truck. Interesting CT pistol. Got a smoke on Hiko, another flash just been thrown out by Sick to try and aggress somewhere. 2 entries out of the A main. They're all going to be funneling out of A main, and there's 2 truck now, but the bomb's not really planted for truck, boys.
Yeah, and the problem is the kit's all the way lost at truck, so they got to either stick the defuse, and I think Android realizes,
okay.
They're going to stick the defuse. Depth, you're going to have to hold them off. Android's actually going in for the kills.
Okay, they've seen double truck now, so...
Yep. So Android's going to have to go huge right now. He's just got to lock down GMD, who wants to stop the bomb carrier, but he's unable to do it in time. So Android will be able to retrieve the kit, but you can't split yourself into 2 copies, unfortunately. So that kit being lost at truck was their downfall, even though they're able to get the kills. And Rogue, able to get the pistol round.
They're back in it, boys.
It will be a long slog if they are able to climb their way back up.
In the wise words of Jordan, yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy.
It's probably not what they're saying right now.
No, I think Tommy, our production guy, will be saying something different.
Let's see what Rogue are going to be doing. It's like just a boost up mid. 4 stack on the A-bomb site from Cole. No smoke A main, even though FNS has got it. He's just going to chuck it out into the entrance of A main. Will they hold on to A main control? Mid control taken by Rogue. Nice little Z smoke. Yaster jumps up the ladder right into the crosshair of Cadian.
Still alive.
Not quite on. Ooh. Okay. Cadian's just... He's not having a good day.
It's been a rough day for him, that's for certain.
Even the first map wasn't, you know, wasn't even him that sort of won it for Rogue, to be honest. It's a rough
It's
one.
a team effort, and P-Dot
Oh, yeah, of course.
just tucked away in MBK right now. Teammates, though, have suspected it's not going to be an A site, and they're all in position to actually rotate into vent. Oh, this is looking... Oh, no. This is looking really scary.
This is not good.
This is really scary right now because there's just so many members right now. Def was swinging. Okay,
They cancel.
Oh, they cancel. Thank goodness. FNS, though, he should be aware of this, just checking the corners. He's tucked himself away. Vice won't be checking that line. He's now trying to pick up the Mac 10, but he's found a little bit more time. He's going to spot 3, but Rogue still walking. They're going to have to start making a move, though. You can't just keep walking the entire time. You're going to have to start sprinting because Android's already going to be on the bomb site before you get there.
Door.
Oh, no.
No, boys. Not through the smallest choke. Android's got a kit.
He's going to hear all of this. 1, 2, and not 3 yet.
Okay,
Because Hiko
so
comes
here's
out.
the interesting thing, right? Hiko's going to get the bomb down. Def's got CZ armor. He can actually take his time because there's a kit dropped on the bomb side, but has Android commed that to him?
It doesn't matter at this stage because Def just pops his head off with a CZ at that range.
Sorry, was that a CZ or a rifle? Couldn't tell.
It was a rifle with a massive barrel attached to it. That's what you should sell the CZ with, just like a sniper rifle barrel. It just becomes this elongated, ridiculous looking
when
thing.
Def's using it from Jock, seems like it.
So compLexity win the force fight. Rogue just taking a little bit too much time. Their position is just being read because compLexity were able to push in. That's the confidence when you have 14 rounds. And coming out of Squeaky, Android's just able to sit here and just chill out all day.
What's the problem with coming out A main, Kev? Like, you got to clear Squeaky, sure. Why not send, like, one there late? Like, come on, boys. You don't just run through a choke like that. You just can't do it.
You wouldn't run through a choke like that. Yes, we would, said Rogue.
Call it literally...
They were gambling on the fact that one of them would be at lockers, I think, at this position. If we were playing,
but so
if we were trying to think,
it's easier than coming out door.
They're also hoping that the door guy wouldn't just be sitting there and just shooting away. If they didn't, it was just the thing where compLexity had complete map control, and Sick just trying to make a solid play with the UMP. Does manage to get one dink off, and GMD slowly sneaking up. Ooh, okay, 2 kills now rolling in their favor. Death's got an AK. He's got a lot of work to do right now from that fence position. And he can't find the... Okay, finds one, trying to transfer in the second one, but that's really messy.
From Death?
It's been a bit wiggly so far on the A-bomb site. Any more wiggly, they'd have a kid show.
Kirby spray right there.
At least Kirby would land his spray.
Maybe.
Not just maybe, definitely. But FNS completely blinded out. Some good flashbangs. So they're trading force buys at the moment. Peter's just going to... Is he going to go for it or is he going to save?
Look, Rogue, I think it would be better for everyone if you just, you know...
Whoa, you can't say that. You can't... You're not down in Counter-Strike and out until the enemy hits the 16 mark by at least 2 rounds.
Alright.
In an MR15 game.
We playing out or...?
No play out, sorry.
No play out.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Or the classic... We'll do play out, but getting pumped because whatever, and go, oh, sorry, you know, this person has to go bedtime, lol. Oh, okay.
At 7 PM.
Okay. Oh, I see. Come on, man. It's practice. I mean, for here, right? Rogue just... they still shouldn't play loose too much. I mean, this is still a time where they can still practice and try to figure out, all right, in this scenario, right, if you're down in this high-pressure situation, what would you do to kind of counteract? You still want to be using it as a practice session.
What is that smoke?
That's
Where's it going?
That should bounce at quad, right?
No, I think it's truck.
No, it probably is truck then.
Why?
Maybe trying to draw more attention to the A-bomb site. They're just going to bail that, but look at this from Def. He's already in backyard. And Cadian...
Oh, my... You just deleted him. You're not meant to do that.
I feel so bad for Cadian at the moment, because it's like... He's already struggling, okay? But...
No, don't do it.
How does Def just get that much damage through a smoke? Oh my goodness.
Like $500. Everything $500.
Everything that can be going wrong is going wrong in that essence. And like I said, Cadian's had a rough game, but...
It's $500.
That's not just rough. It's just one of the games you just feel like you can't even do anything. Dirty Peak Pete Jr. Oh my goodness. Oh dear.
He's just a big memer, isn't he? Loves a bit of a meme.
Echo and Sick. Now it's all down to Sick. The bomb's been lost. Only one man between compLexity and picking up the victory in the second map. And all compLexity are just surrounding it. They're going to be hugging it, Gonna get the huggies. Gonna be waiting for the pushies from sickies. So much space, and oh my god, FNS gets deleted. Doesn't matter.
That's what the RGL does. You got the info.
You got the info, Android gets the kill, but compLexity do manage to take the victory. Very easy victory. So the series split 1-1 apiece, but really a one-sided affair for both sides on their respective map picks. Not much. I mean, at the end of the day, like we said, one of the teams, you know, one of the teams were called on their opposing team's map picks. And on the T side, you know, the other team just showed really good tactical diversity, like really good tactical depth. It wasn't just an all-out brawl that was rewarded in the favor of one team. It was just really just the other team played better.
Yeah, it was pretty much that. I mean, like, one team just looked like sort of half effort, like, oh, we got this cool thing that we can do, but we don't really know how to actually execute it. And then it was the opposite for the other team on the other map. Like,
Yeah,
it was just well practiced, well executed, and the other team kind of half, you know, effort it. And then
it looked like the half. I think they did put in effort for it, but
yeah,
it just
was
looks
effort.
like
They had some like cool smoke, so they had like the right idea, but like not the right execution at all.
Because I didn't like, for example, like how most of the teams play on the CT side. Like a lot of the times before, we'd fault them by going, why are they doing this? Why is this happening? But we see in both of these games a lot of the time, I can't really go like, why did compLexity on their CT side of train do this? And why did Rogue do this as a question? The only questionable part was pretty much Rogue maybe when they came out of Squeaky. Like that was the only questionable play that I could see this entire time. Yeah. A lot of the other times it was compLexity. I mean, when you have Peter in this form who's hitting kills through the smoke, you know, maybe standard shots through the smoke and whatnot. But when you're getting those early picks...
Cadian getting wrecked highlight reel right
yeah,
now.
I mean, while Cadian goes, all right, backyard's a little bit dirty. I'm going to sit here. It's waiting the line perfectly. That's the angle I would be sitting as an AK player. And then Def just goes, la-di-da-di-da, la-di-da-di-da. I'm just going to tag this other guy through the smoke as well. Caden is just arms up, just going, what the hell just happened? There's not much you can do in those circumstances. Like, that was a correct play to make, but the yellow guy just comes up on top. For that for a different reason. So I can't really fault the teams today that lost because it wasn't like they forgot how to play basic Counter-Strike. It was the better team won. They outclassed them in any other aspect in terms of the trading, in terms of executes, in terms of flashbangs and Molotov use, and the other team couldn't counter it.
Yeah, tactically better teams. Yeah.
So
tactically, and it was T sides that really rolled both teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
They didn't have enough like CT opportunities in terms of just their economy getting reset and stuff like that to sort of get into the game on both maps.
Yeah, so I feel like it's important to make that differentiation sometimes. We can sometimes look at 16-6, 16-3, you know, what are these teams doing? But ultimately, it was compLexity actually stepping up in the second map. They looked really cold in the second map. They stepped up their game, and then Rogue were kind of, you know, I think their economy game was never on point. So many times they had to force up because some people saved weapons, and then other times FNS just goes, all right, we're just completely changing up the tempo. We're doing this where Rogue are trying to make an adaptation. They recognize the weak point. They go, all right, mid's our weak point. We're going to have to put some early pressure at mid to make sure that they take control of that. And as soon as that call's made, FNS just goes, rush A. Yep. They're not going to have anyone there. Perfect call from FNS. It's a good adaptation from Rogue, but it's a perfect call from FNS. 2 rounds afterwards, they try to make an adaptation, or it's going to spread out for more of a default hold. You know, get one person to A site, maybe 3 or 2 on A bomb site, 2 at mid. We've got the Orp at B site. He'll be able to hold off some early round aggression. You know, they've never taken B that quickly. But this time around, they just go straight through B. What do you do as a CT?
You, I guess, play standard the entire half, or you adapt and try to win.
But they adapted.
Neither of them would have worked.
Exactly, because compLexity were just playing better. So at the end of the day, it was the better team that showed up. The CT sides of both sides didn't do anything silly. They just didn't hit their shots. Difficult to do so when you don't have enough money and being pressured by some better executes as well as pressure from the enemy team. And that's it. That's all I can say.
So who are we spectating next?
We're spectating the boys at Splice up against Optic Gaming.
Ooh. I'm keen to see this new Optic play.
Yeah, I'm just.
They've looked hella inconsistent.
See, like you say, I'm keen to see Optic Gaming. I'm just keen to actually see Splice. You don't support your boy Davian, no? No.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
You used to be such a big Splice fan. What happened, Mitch?
I want to see config play in an A. It's like smurfing in matchmaking.
But Splice.
I love Splice, but I want to see config smurf in
NA
Pro League.
You know Optic aren't doing that well, right?
Yeah, and I've seen them being really inconsistent. Like they literally 16-4 get 16-4. It's like that series in a nutshell.
Yeah, oh, that's the first series done between compLexity and Rogue. A 1-1 split for tonight, but we do have Optic Gaming up against Splice next. We'll be back after the break. Don't go anywhere. Should be a good one.
Incendiary out.